It's officially show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So, obviously, I'm not here for the show today as I finally got the call to play in the Heritage Classic. My brother-in-law's member guest. He's been a member here 9 years. I just now got the call, but that means I won't be hosting today. And we have a special host today hosting for her first time. Give it up for the podcast manager extraordinaire for Beta Consulting Group and hosting Word on the Street for her first time, Natalia Navas.
Yeah. They kicked me out after 3 weeks. They're like,
finally, they have somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, I was surprised he lasted 3 weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, we could get all these going.
All right.
There you go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm feeling mischievous today. I get to do whatever I want. I'm kidding. Welcome, everyone. And I hope that we all have a great time today. Excited to be hosting for my first time ever. Rumor has it Trey's never coming back. So
Good.
Wow.
Good. About time. Gives it to somebody that actually knows what they're doing.
Dan Lindsay.
You guys
Dan Lindsay. Dan, why can't I? How do I get a non-certified scumbag T-shirt, man?
Yeah, you gotta go to the website right here.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
right.
All over the website.
I got mine.
I'll be repping this every time I go on every podcast now from here on until we get a better one.
That's right.
So yeah, go to the website.
That shirt shows off those muscles, Dan. Can we get just a shot of those guns, man? Holy cow!
Oh yeah, look at that.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
That's what's selling the Broker Carrier Summit tickets. I mean, you
Hey,
show
you know
those
what?
guns, man.
I'll share a tip with you. Just buy a shirt 2 sizes too small. It works out.
I was gonna say, is that a meat? Dan,
Yeah.
you rocking a
So the
medium?
bottom line
This
is,
is the media today. Yeah.
the bottom line is, just don't be a scumbag.
Don't be a scumbag.
Yeah,
Don't be a scumbag. Go to the Broker Carrier Summit and get your picture with Dan's guns, man.
absolutely.
go.
Absolutely.
involved the gun show basically. So everyone buys the small shirts and then they're all on pedestals and we just have a huge little fame.
That's it.
We should get everybody a shirt the next BCS, and everybody just show up and be like,
Like,
It's awesome.
all right,
Tighter.
all of you guys enjoy there. Coming up first, we got Rob Bussey from BWS Logistics coming up.
What's up, people? Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I stopped that so abruptly.
Yeah, just
I'm
cut them off. Just cut them off.
Yeah, we gotta get a roll on.
You know,
We now have
fade button on there.
we now have the third best host coming up of Watts ever, Coleman Ruffin. Some call him the glue, I guess.
Third might even be generous. I was going to say you're definitely up there. Jen's above me. I know that Scott hosted before Nick. Hey, I can't believe, literally, though, this might be a record. 4 weeks with no Trey on his own podcast. Crazy.
I mean,
Crazy.
when we wanted him to kind of get out of the process, we didn't mean like the entire show.
Yeah, he's just taking golf Fridays now. That's what it
He's
is.
saving lives. You guys, I guess we better watch out for that golf tournament in VCS in Fort Worth. So
Ooh.
Well, see, no, this is what we
It's
need to
brutal.
petition for. If I'm his partner, like I need to just not be here on Fridays anymore too. Like I need to be practicing. He doesn't need to practice anymore. Come on.
Trey needs to invest in you and send you to the course.
All
What-
I
what
need
is,
is a partner that knows how to play golf. That's all I know. I'll be
you
all
guys
right.
haven't seen the mean swing that Morgan and I have going on. Morgan is really good. Basically, she can hit it straight. She can hit it hard.
I was gonna say we might have the new BCG team here represent. Like they're already better than me. Terrible.
Yeah, Morgan always brings her clubs when she flies. She always does that.
Always. She never leaves
Waiting
without
for the comments to
Keep them things on her.
bringing up the bodacious cowboy here. Oh my gosh.
Hey, there you go. What's happening, folks?
I've been working. I've been working on it.
Oh yeah. So am I. I just started last week, so it's coming in. Thank God. It's good.
That blows my mind.
Just started last week. Civil War generals spent a lifetime building theirs. Just like, I got it in 3 days. Don't worry
I know that Natalia, you're going through the introductions, but there was this segment that came up during TMSA, and it was one of my mentors saying, "Hey, we need to figure out a way like that you can build credibility because I looked so young." He's like, "How about you grow a beard?" I went on vacation, came back a week and a half later, and he's like, "Yeah, let's not do that. We gotta figure something else out." I was like, "Great, thanks."
Just get your hair longer.
Here's some of mine.
Morgan's having a ton of fun in the background in the seat today. And we got up next Mitch Kowalowski. Am I saying that correctly?
Sure. Hey, what's up, guys? I didn't hear you come in. I'm just doing some horticulture today. Welcome. Doing some plants, getting some good sunlight.
I got mine right here.
Some balance. Hey, guys.
Look at this one little guy I got.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Put that on the side of the screen, my man. That
as soon as I put it up, I was like, maybe that's not the best angle of this thing.
This is a money tree. You know what a money tree is?
Yeah.
Hopefully it produces money.
Oh my God. That's funny.
I knew you were doing something on the side there, Mitchell.
I'm selling money tree and dime bags.
Last but not least, who is not a scumbag. We got Dan Lindsay here.
I don't have a plan in my office. If I did, though, it would be a coffee plant. Here, cheers to everybody.
Hey, there we go. That's the plant to have.
Need more coffee. How's everyone doing, guys? How are we feeling?
Wonderful.
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It is Friday. What is everyone's plans for the weekends coming up here?
Work.
I'm going to go to Philly on Sunday, kick off the week in Philly. I'm going to try to see if I can connect with my boy Jeff in Jersey at some point next week.
Yes.
Kind of a short notice trip, Jeff, but I'll be in Philly, Jersey, New York, Bronx next week. I was in Austin this week. Austin's a really cool city. I was in Nashville last week, another cool city. The road trip to find freight continues, right? So keep it going. I always love the East Coast. Fun times.
Was it a productive trip, Mitch? Was it a productive tour?
Austin was a super productive trip. Yeah, it was great.
What's the go-to Philly cheesesteak spot? Have you been to Philly before?
South side.
Yeah, man. I spent a lot of time in Philly. The best. All right, so this is a whole show by itself. So this is now a special episode, right? So this just migrated into a food show. But if you're from Philly, you get a cheesesteak in Jersey. There's some local bars on the Jersey border. That's where a real good cheesesteak is. Like the stuff that's side by side kitty corner. That's really touristy stuff, right? Good cheesesteak is in a pub or a bar. That's where you get it at. Jeff, do you agree or disagree?
I will agree. Yeah, but there's some places in Philly on the south side that have some really, really good.
So the next spot is like a bodega or like a little place, right? So that's the thing about the East Coast that is better than anything else. I live in Chicago. I live in the Midwest. If I want a sandwich, I have to go to Jersey Mike's. I have to go to Jimmy John's. There's no Rob Bussey sandwich and Son sandwich shop, right? And that's all over the East Coast, from New York, the Bronx, wherever. You sell a little liquor, you sell some paper towels, and you make a hell of a sandwich in the back.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you got to have a Jersey pork roll or Taylor ham and egg
course.
And cheese sandwich, man.
I'll
There's
have it
nothing
every
like
morning
it.
that I'm there, man. I'm a pork
That's
roll guy.
unbelievable.
Oh yeah. The thing
Mitch,
is,
Mitch, I got a spot for you in Chicago.
What?
I got one for you.
all right, I'll take it.
I got
I know. If you're talking about JP or whatever that place
No.
is, no. Okay, all right.
Not Pizza Uno.
All right, Natalia, I'm going to say this one part and I'll leave it here because I know the audience is riveted with this conversation. But
This is what people want. This is what matters the most.
I'll tell you this. The secret about a good Jersey sandwich has nothing to do with the ingredients. It's the bread. The bread is what defines a sandwich. And there's very specific water on the East Coast that you can't find anywhere else, right? So the bread is called amaurosis, and it's legendary. And it's because of the water that they're making to produce it. And that is Freight Food 101, everybody.
But Mitch, I'll tell you,
Thank you, Mitch, for the lesson. I appreciate it.
Try Barry Subs, Bari, on
Yeah.
1120 West Grand Avenue.
I'm going right now.
Barry
I love
Subs. I'm serious, man.
Puns.
I
No,
want
I'll
to
try it.
report back from you next Friday.
I'll get it. Or maybe I'll try it live on the show next week, Rob.
Let's do it.
Get it.
The most I know about Philly too is just you got to say whiz wit. You can't say with cheese or
I'll
anything.
expense it to the Broker Carrier Summit.
I do have a question about cheesesteaks, if someone could answer this. Because I'm not a fan of the Cheese Whiz, but I love a cheesesteak with like provolone melted on it. What do you guys
Yeah.
think?
100%. I'm ride or die with you right there, Rob. The Cheese Whiz is disgusting.
I'm a provolone guy, Rob. I'm not straight out of the mental institution. I'm a provolone guy, right? The Cheese Whiz is a very niche audience, a very hardcore audience. The same audience that says like, I don't even know where I'm going with that.
Come on,
But
man.
I thought you were going to say something.
Is this the pineapple on pizza crowd?
But hold on, guys.
anchovies. It's
That's
the
what-
same guy that gets
it's-
anchovies.
It's the anchovy crowd. All
But
right.
hold on now. Cheese Whiz is in the same category as Spam. So I don't care what you say, man. They
No,
both
Cheese Whiz is in the same category as freaking plastic.
I like
All right, let me ask you guys: have you ever had a fried bologna sandwich?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, if you don't like Spam, fry it up, put it with a little rice, and wrap it in a seaweed wrap. It's like a little sushi roll, and it is amazing. That's what I used to snack on as a kid. I know
Is that just-
I now you guys are like, oh, it all makes sense now. I get it, but
No,
it's
it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
Is that just the solution? So when you don't like a food, just try it fried. Just fry it up and then see what it tastes like.
Yeah, it's easy. And I'm pan fried, not like.
Natalia, what's the local go-to food in Florida? Like, what's the local? Is it fish tacos? Like, what is it?
Listen, actually, for I guess the Latino community, we have a place called La Hacienda, and these are like the most authentic Mexican tacos that you can have.
Yes,
No offense,
ma'am.
I'm just gonna dish it out here. He took us to a Mexican restaurant over in St. Louis.
Ooh.
He's like, I got the best tacos you're ever gonna have. I'm
He
like,
took you to
okay.
Chili's. He took you to
No.
Chili's, didn't he?
I forgot what the place is called. Look, the effort was great, but nothing compared to La Hacienda. They have like these soft, they had the soft little flour taco shells, and like the meat is freshly, they grill that meat like day of. They're just always cooking and grilling and everything. And they got ribs. They have and then there's cow head. It's called cachete, and it's so tender. It's so juicy. It's so much flavor. And
Cow
literally, I can
head.
I thought I misheard that.
No, you
What
gotta
is cow head?
No, cow head's good. Cow tongue is good. All that stuff.
Well,
She's
yeah,
right
cow
on it.
tongue.
She's right on it.
But
Yeah,
like,
can I have a side order of cowhead?
yeah, I'm just curious what cow head is because I've had eyes, which is weird flavor. First of all, I've had tongue, but what is head? Is it just everything ground up together?
How about buffalo
She doesn't
balls?
even know.
You do say so's the brains.
Oh, Rocky Mountain oysters? Oh yeah, that's a
Like,
I think
No
I think
way.
the takeaway from this episode more than anything is there's no good Mexican food in St. Louis, right? So we'll put that on the record, right? So that's official. We'll have to change that up.
It's definitely not the best.
Yeah.
Also, sushi tips from Coleman.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is ironic because he lives in Denver, right? But Dan, you're in Indy. Do you got the pork? You got the pork tenderloin, man. That's the famous
You
sandwich.
got the pork tenderloin that is as big as a tire, and the bun is the same size as a regular bun.
That's good.
So
Maybe just some
it's-
fresh
it's
pickle, right? That's how you do it.
It's a
Pickles,
perfect
huh?
ratio.
a little bit of mayonnaise, maybe, but yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
I got one last plug. Guys, if you're ever in Palm Beach, there's the original La Parada de Gordo, and they have these burgers. I've showed Coleman and Morgan before, I think, where it's like it looks disgusting at first. It sounds disgusting. They have like a pineapple applesauce kind of thing going on there, crushed chips, shredded chicken, shredded pork, beef, then I believe like some cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup. It looks disgusting, but man, I crave
That's
these
awesome.
burgers
I
so
love
much.
That sounds amazing.
So remember La Parada de Gordo. You gotta
That
go
was
West
the one thing about Austin that like there's every place has breakfast tacos. Every place has just like, just it's really good. There's just such a big Hispanic food influence in that town that, man, I just get the best of both worlds there when I go. But I think I had 3 breakfasts one morning, all different places, just different breakfast tacos, different versions, right? I loved it.
Hey,
Cool.
Hey, welcome to the WOTS Food Network.
We do have to give a shout out to our sponsors at Thai. They've been so great to us.
I thought you were going to say Mike Subs.
Sometimes coordinating multiple loads, clients, emails, and accounts becomes confusing and tedious. Introducing Thai TMS, the first all-in-one tool that helps you optimize your freight broker processes. You can send and receive quotes, review the shipment status, and keep control of your invoices all from one single screen. It's easy to manage and utilizes the best integrations. Don't take our word for it, our customers are raving about Thai. With Thai, you can improve your productivity by 75%. Go to thaisoftware.com and get a free demo now.
Okay, guys.
Dan. Oh no, go ahead, Natalia. I'm just interrupting everything. I'm not a host here.
Yeah, what do you think? You're the host or something?
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you?
What does it take to watch TV? Let's go. I have a background.
I got a show to run.
Cole. What is this, amateur hour? All right, in honor of me being the new host, I have a special background. We're going to call this segment, as you formerly knew, what's the word? We're going to call it Chatties with Natty. Still industry stuff, but, a little
Getting chatty with Natty.
Getting chatty with Natty. And I'll let Coleman take the stage because he has a very, very important question to ask everyone.
Well, Dan brought it up. Are we fans of pineapple on pizza, or does it not belong?
Yes.
No, it doesn't belong. No, absolutely not. I side with Gordon Ramsay. If you think pineapple belongs on pizza, you belong in a mental institution.
So I have a more positive response. My response is much more positive than Dan's. And that would be, the answer is yes, Coleman, but this is how this works. You order it, and then I'll try a piece of yours. But I'll never order pineapple on mine, but I'll try it off of yours. Does that make sense, right? So
see, I think it's pretty good, but you're right. I don't think that if you show up to a place and they just have like Hawaiian pizzas, like, no, you can't do that to people. But like, I think it actually is pretty darn good.
Hold on.
There's a difference between Hawaiian and pineapple pizza. If you're gonna do Hawaiian, that includes ham, and that just throws the whole flavor palette off. I think just
it's pineapple ham pizza, man. Sliced ham.
It's gotta be
pineapple.
That's cowboy pizza.
Oh,
pineapple
yeah.
and ham.
Yeah. Hey,
okay.
here's
straight
one.
Pineapple. Ugh.
No, but here's one that you really should try: chicken Caesar pizza. It's unbelievable.
Delicious, like a
is that just
chicken Caesar pizza?
It's fantastic. Try it. Fantastic.
Jeff, I love you, and I'll never try that in my life. I'll never try it in my life, and I love you.
Mitch, have you tried the Italian beef pizza here?
Which one?
Italian beef with
love it. That's great. That's a Chicago
That's a good
thing.
pizza.
Oh, meat lovers pie.
No. It's an Italian beef pizza. So it's got the hot
beef,
giardiniera.
Oh, yes.
The giardiniera. It's good.
Yeah, that's
Is it soaked? Is it dipped?
No.
No, it's a pizza.
No dip.
Oh, okay.
They got a good amount of jus like stuff on there, but it's not like eating a dipped Italian beef.
It can be zippy. It can be zippy though with the giardiniera.
Buffalo chicken pizza.
Right, cool.
When did we stop bringing lunch to these things? This all started on lunch, and you guys seem very hungry so far. So, you guys
Dude, I could go for a za. Right now.
Can I please get a reminder of what the segment is called? Chatty with Zaddy? Is that what it's?
Chatties with Natty.
Zaddy?
You can't see it because of the little logo there. Chatty's with Natty.
Natty.
Truly.
Shaggy the Batty.
I think the biggest disrespect I've ever received is ordering pineapple on pizza, and there were like 3 pieces of pineapple. It was clearly a hate crime. Just 3 pieces on the entire pie. Honestly, it was a sad day. But
you call a pizza a pie?
The pie? They're a whole.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's called
I'm
a
just
pie.
curious.
Yeah, she was born in 1954.
I was gonna say
Pizza pie.
everything is checking out. Now.
That wasn't me.
It's pizza. It's pizza.
Well, pizzas come in all shapes and sizes now.
Jeff's hat's older than Natalia.
I've actually never seen Coleman that angry over something before. That was a trigger for him for sure. Like his vibe changed on that. He's like, it's not a pie. Google it.
All the time. Earlier, literally minutes before the show, he asked me who my favorite celebrity was, and he said someone not from the 50s or 70s who's not dead. That was
she's an old soul. She's an old soul. I will give you that.
My favorite celebrity was Justin Timberlake before Wednesday, so I got to find a new one now. I got to find a new one.
We can move into that right now. Justin Timberlake arrested for driving under the influence. What do we feel? Did anyone see the headshot that they took?
Yep. A little bloodshot. Yeah. A little on the bloodshot side.
He said he had 1 martini. My God, if that's how you look after 1 martini, you got bigger problems. Like, this is really dumb. He needed to hire the bodacious cowboy to drive him around in that Cadillac, spend that money, and have a driver, and not be a dumbass.
Here's my reply to that.
His wealth is at a level very few people in North America have ever tasted or seen. He can take care of that problem, no problem. That's a very selfish situation. So I did see something the other day on this, and it said if you were caught at this, they would fight this, right? They would try to reduce charges. They would do something. There's absolutely zero of that. It says plead guilty, admit fault, and make this a positive, turn this negative into a positive as quickly as possible, right? And, spokesperson, whatever it is. But the best part, I think, of the whole deal is the cop was 22, 23, didn't know who the hell he was.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It produced some great memes.
I've seen a lot of them, yeah.
They were so hilarious.
I know he was. And he goes, this is going to mess up the tour. And the cop's like, what tour? And he goes, the world tour.
The world tour.
All right, drunkie, back to the car you go.
We talked about this a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what it was when we were talking about the actual semi truck driver that if you get a DUI or like have a seizure or something, should it be synonymous across the board? Like, do you think that people who, if you get a DUI, you shouldn't be able to drive ever again?
If you're a truck driver, I would say yes, because you got an 80,000-pound vehicle that will just take out. I'm talking a lot of freaking people and cars out there, especially if you're on the highway and you're wasted. Yeah, definitely, lifetime ban. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, that's rough.
I think the excuses, Coleman. I mean, it's a very, very sensitive subject. I think the excuses become a lot less with modern technology. There's ride shares available on the thumbprint. There is, you know what I mean? Like the options to not go behind the wheel with alcohol today. I don't see how you still could with the amount of options you can, right? So,
and especially when you're a celebrity, why don't you have someone
literally zero?
Come on,
I said bodacious cowboy would do it.
Yeah,
dude,
are you telling me Justin Timberlake, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, does not have a driver?
It's great.
Yeah, like what are we talking about?
Yeah, he's got his driver probably employs a driver.
The podcast director has a driver.
Even the president of the United States, who makes $275,000 a year, has a driver.
I thought it was $200,000 a year.
Oh, it's 200. Yeah, you're right.
Inflation.
Inflation.
Do you guys remember the show Punked?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Look up the one that they did to Timberlake, and it was they posed as the IRS coming to collect all his stuff. He was about ready to cry. He was calling his mom on the phone.
They got him for like tax evasion or something.
It was funny. They punked him, Johnny Knoxville,
That's awesome.
I love it.
Or not Johnny Knoxville. It was somebody else. Ashton Kutcher, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway.
Sorry, we're derailing Natalia.
Yeah.
No.
Nice job.
This is one of the highest rated shows ever, Natalia. Just go with it.
Yeah, go.
I used to watch. I grew up a little bit on Ridiculousness was more my speed, but
oh yeah,
Ridiculousness was pretty fun.
I'll tell you, anything Rob tells you will be in black and white. Just be prepared. You just got to look it up in black and white.
That's right up her alley.
Black and white. I mean,
she likes nostalgia though, so that's
right.
perfect.
That's right.
It's
we were
true.
just talking about old cars before the show. She might even ask you what your dream old car is.
Ooh.
We can get into that if we want to.
I mean, I'm not the host, so I can't really ask that.
You can ask your dream old cars. I did have a question. If anyone else has the fear of actually being sober and failing the sobriety test, because I am very important. I don't have any balance. I that's one of my. That's a daily thing that I think about. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way around here.
Yeah. Same thing. Do you feel guilty when there's a cop behind you, but you didn't do anything wrong, and you're like
all the time?
You feel like should I hide the joint, the beer? Wait, I don't have either of those things.
Like, oh no!
I speed up. And if I get pulled over, I was like, hey, I thought you had to get by me, so that's why I try to, why not?
See? Yeah, thought of everything. But
sir, just lean against the car.
Yeah. To answer your question, though, I think about that all the time, and then I try to recite the alphabet backwards, and I get like 3 letters in. I'm like, I would be so fucked. There's no chance I'm passing.
You asked me the next
you
alphabet.
Shouldn't have to do that.
For the names, like the section of the song. You should have seen me at TMSA. We were putting the name badges in order. I was just kind of singing the portions of like LMNOP, like trying to make sure they were in order.
I'm right there with you. I'm not proud to admit it, but I am.
I guess kind of going into this next topic over here, we do have another article. It reminded me what you were talking about with the DUIs, if truckers should ever be allowed to drive ever again. It's not entirely related, but there is an article out here saying that they want like marijuana to be allowed to a certain extent with medical issues for truck drivers. Don't know if you guys saw that here or how you feel about that as well.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of positive press from truckers. Truckers are backing it. They're saying they're in favor of it, which is not terribly surprising. But
it comes down to regulation. That's all it comes down to is how do we measure it? How do we monitor it? How do we have a threshold for it? How does Coleman pass and how does Dan fail? Right? Basically.
Oh, I know.
No, I'm just saying overall, like why, right? But what's his medical condition that he can do it, and why not Dan? So I think there's a lot to that piece. I don't know.
I
don't know enough about
people. Yeah, I don't know enough about it too, but like I think that people should be able to. The hard part with this, in my opinion, is that weed is obviously something that stays in your system a lot longer than alcohol does, right? So like it is, if there's an accident that happens, somebody tests positive, it's almost impossible to say, oh, they were actually high driving, or maybe they smoked a doobie or whatever the night before to like relax when they were off the clock, but it's still showing in their system. So like that. In that case, Jeff, I 100% agree. Like nobody should ever be driving under the influence, especially behind a semi truck. Like that's just not right. But like, I also think that people should be able to kind of off the clock, kind of do what they want to a certain extent. So it's a hard thing. It really kind of, Mitch, to your point, depends on how it's all being measured.
Well, the other thing too is even if I am medically cleared as a truck driver, I now have my medicine in the truck, even in a personal use. And so now I'm crossing state lines. And so Illinois state statute is different than Iowa state. You know what I mean? From a medical patient situation. And there's a lot of work that needs to happen on this. I think there's a lot of cooperation. So even at a federal level, you have to get to the state DOT level on top of that, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Who says doobie anymore? I mean,
you know what, Rob? I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to let that one slide, but he was on a roll, so I just let him slide on it. But
I'm trying to not seem like a pothead over here. I'm trying to keep it classy.
Next thing he's going to say lid or something.
I thought Coleman was going to be like, well, when the truck drivers are allowed to smoke grass on their time off.
Hey,
wait, let's rewind for a second. So Coleman, you said you're trying really hard not to act like a pothead. How hard do you have to try to not act like a pothead? Does that mean your default is stoned out in a basement?
Colorado's very, very liberal with that.
I plead the fifth. Apparently, I got to try too hard, Dan.
I think this is a beautiful background. I want to just put that on official record on the live recording. I think it's an amazing background.
Official background of the new background, the new segment.
The new one.
If Coleman wants a doobie, that's up to him, man.
Yeah. If Coleman wants to smoke grass and is off time, that's his deal, man.
Okay, perfect. Next segment. Here we go.
Hey, back in the 70s, they used to say ass, cash, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
In New Jersey,
everybody used to hitchhike. Everybody used to hitchhike back in the 70s, you know, and that was the term used.
Jeff, did you hitchhike?
I sure did.
What was the?
Would you ever do that today?
Was it cash, grass, or?
Yeah, that's a great question. Which one
There's a follow-up.
Jeff?
What was it, Jeff?
No, seriously. No, seriously. The furthest that I ever hitchhiked was from Hartford, Connecticut to my house in Hillsdale, New Jersey. Yeah.
But what's the answer?
That's a lot of ass money.
Did you ever give up the first?
No, I was 14 years old. They didn't have anything on me. Seriously.
Wow.
So that was just out of kindness of their heart. That's nice.
That's wild.
Wait,
man.
would any of you ever hitchhike today?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start now.
I sure wouldn't pick up a 14-year-old.
What highway are you going to be on? I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
I think I would just rather walk wherever I'm going. Like, screw this. I don't want to end up 6 feet deep.
Well, you know what? It was different back then than it is today.
Sure.
I mean, you didn't have to worry about all the bad things that are happening in this generation compared to back then. Everybody, it was love, peace, sex, everything back then. Nobody had to worry about that kind of crap. But now, with all the idiots that are out there, I mean, they'll swerve at you, hit you. I mean, just all different kinds of things.
Was it really, or was it just being able to get information out there pretty quickly? Because you see a lot of different stories now where they find all these murder mysteries that are solved today, or what was happening back then. Like, personally, as a woman, don't really feel safe. They're going to TMSD, being on Bourbon Street. Like, I couldn't have explored on my own without Coleman and Kyle being there.
Maybe just Kyle. Right.
Yeah, just Kyle.
He
can't even throw a beer. They're gonna be like, "Are you babysitting him?"
Kyle had it. Yeah, Kyle.
No, we just have different tactics. Kyle's actually a protector. I'm just a meat shield. I just take me, fine.
You need someone to open the doors for the group. I get it.
Yeah, bring in a nice guy.
Right. It's a good point, Natalia. I think obviously, today it's pretty crazy. You do randomly see like a guy or somebody on the side of the road. You're like, how do you even get on the highway? You know what I mean? You're like, well, where did this guy even come from? But you fear for his safety. I just default to think there's some mental health issue there and just hope he's okay and give us help. So it's crazy.
It's pretty sad not being able to trust, like wanting to help a person. And especially there's a story that one of my friends was telling me today where I forgot what state it's in, forgot where it's most popular, but there are people that like pretend to be homeless and they beg and they that's their job, and they have multiple properties and they go back to begging on the street for a couple hours a day, and then they continue. That's what they do. So it's hard to trust people. For me personally, whenever I see that, instead of giving money, I'd rather give food or like go back and try to give something rather than giving money. But the state of how difficult it is to trust these days, it makes it really sad to do things that are good for people.
What drives me nuts on that more than anything else is when they like have people begging, when they have like their kids or they have like a dog tied up next to them to try to get the attention. It's 112 degrees out. And you're just like, dude, not the dog, not the kids,
The dogs look more well-fed than the people usually, too. They're so well-trained. But
Jennifer!
Hello.
Hey.
Well, I'm going to step out for 1 second. I'm getting a call. I have to take it.
Bye. See ya.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for joining Chatting with Batty.
Fun story. When I was younger, actually, we went to the movie theaters with my dad, and there was a person. He was begging on the side next to the movies. We had his little kid with him, and they gave the whole sob story, like, can't afford to feed my kid. I've been trying to beg out here for hours. My dad gave me money, and our car was pulled like right to the front. And immediately the guy goes to buy his kid and him a movie theater ticket, and my dad gets out of the car, like almost follows him in, but they got inside the building first. But just to even see people dragging their kids into the situation just breaks my heart. It's so sad, but not to like
irresponsible parenting.
What movie was it?
I don't remember.
I was about to make a bad joke. I was like, it sounds like great marketing technique.
Great marketing. You go back and find that guy.
The answer was Juno, Rob. Juno.
Yeah.
Juno.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
It might have been what's that one movie with the teddy bear, Ted?
Ted.
Maybe it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. It was a back-to-back. It was a double play.
A 60 Minutes thing on that years ago, and they followed a guy home who was out there begging and he went into a house, knocked on his door and said, you were just posing as homeless. And he says, well, I was standing on the street. I was homeless. I was on the street, but now I'm home.
Hey, technicality, I like that. Hey, Dan Lindsay, is that background like a green screen, or is that your real background? Like, can you touch it and make that thing wave? Or
yeah, that's real background.
Wow. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm repurposing the backdrops from the summit in Kansas City, and we have a couple of things we're going to roll out that are going to involve this backdrop and others. Coleman and Ty are aware of it. So
the show, how things are
how's Texas planning going?
Dude, Texas is going to be legit. We were talking about food earlier.
Yeah.
The hotel that we're going to be having the event at is the Worthington Renaissance. They have a Michelin star chef on staff at their restaurant.
Nice.
And so I was down there about a month ago doing some site prep, and they gave me they comped dinner for me, and it was probably the best steak I've had in my life. It was wonderful, which is saying a lot because I've eaten a lot of steak.
Whoa,
damn! So
what cut is the best?
That's good to hear.
Oh, yeah. What cut is the best?
Yeah.
Jeez, I mean, I love a good fillet.
Okay. All right. Now I'm on a Tanya binge. It's the only cut that I will eat the fat off of gladly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Porterhouse.
It's a good cut. Porterhouse is good.
Yeah. It doesn't have any fat on it.
Dan, are you putting that steak up against St. Elmo's?
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was shocked too. I was not hungry, but they gave me dinner and I finished every single bite of it.
Well, that's the best when you
really
up the plate.
Yeah. But it's shaping up really well. We're building out the agenda. We sent out a speaker call out for the remainder of our breakout sessions and panels. We're going to look to get some of our network involved in speaking. We already have, I think, 43 people signed up in the last 2 weeks.
Sweet.
So we're on pace. I think we'll hit 500 at Fort Worth.
Nice.
And once we do that, we'll be able to gauge whether or not we're approaching that threshold where the mood changes. Because I want to make sure, we've talked a lot about this in the last few weeks. I want to make sure that we don't grow the event itself too big to where it fundamentally changes the feel.
Keep the intimacy, right? Keep the
intimate environment.
Keep the localness vibe,
engagement tight. Yeah.
Does the Bodacious Cowboy have a suite in the hotel?
I think we met the Bodacious Cowboy's biggest fan at the last Broker Carrier Summit. Shout out to Blake Collins because he was absolutely starstruck anytime that the Bodacious were. It was pretty great. I actually have to work on getting him some Bodacious Cowboy merch maybe.
The Bodacious Cowboy brought his pretty cool wife who also attended, and she was an awesome pleasure.
Yeah, she's
hang out with.
Yeah.
Honestly,
don't be calling his wife bodacious though.
True. True. Those are fighting words, Rob.
Miss Bodacious.
Miss Bodacious.
Mrs. Bodacious.
I know everyone probably has their own perspectives, and all of you are very active on LinkedIn. Trey's definitely talked about the Broker Carrier as well, but giving my own little shout out as someone who's I always say fairly new to the industry, but I'm still learning, still growing. And to be able to go to the Broker Carrier Summit the first time on October was my very first. And to see those conversations live, that was really inspirational, especially again, being someone that's learning every single day. To see those relationships, not even to really know that there was that discord between brokers and carriers. I learned a lot. Everyone was so talkative and welcoming and just very social, and to see that carry over into the next Broker Carrier Summit, even though we were in the background running around, we didn't really get to go to many of the sessions, but talking to people in the main ballrooms, everyone was very kind. Everyone's so open to conversations, getting to know who you are, building those relationships. They were so open to me asking them questions, if they wanted to give like those testimonial backgrounds or even just having a general conversation. Networking was easy, something that terrifies me as like a new professional in the field too. It terrifies me to go out. Like, what is networking? If you guys want to touch on that too a little bit, give me a little rundown. But I just wanted to
stand
say,
by the bar, have a cocktail, and talk. It's
everyone was hanging out at the bar, but I just want to say that so far about the Broker Carrier Summit and another perspective out there, because I'm not very.
But you know what? To your point, the BCS, that's what it's all about. It's this. It's that movement. It's that grassroots movement where it's a whole different type of culture, unlike any other event that's out there. I mean, we've all been to many different events, but you don't have the BS of booths out there, people selling their asses off. It has nothing to do with that. It's all that interaction and making sure that people have a perfectly good understanding how each side works. I mean, that's the deception of everybody that's out there that comes. It finally brings them from here to here, and it's like, we can make this work. And that's what it's all
really cool about it. And I think people are still kind of learning this, because we're still having a few people ask. It's called the Broker Carrier Summit. Obviously, we're trying to mend those relationships between brokers and carriers, make them stronger. But I thought it was really cool seeing how many outside people were there. So me as a podcast director, there's third parties with sales or insurance. Like, you meet a ton of different people. And I don't think, trying to get the word out there and make sure people know, like, all are welcome, that can kind of help to benefit on the broker carrier side and just serve. So I thought that was really interesting to find that there were people there that weren't brokers and carriers that just wanted to learn what their day-to-day was like, learn what their life was like, and how they can better communicate and better serve them with what they do. So that was cool to learn about as well.
Natalie, let me ask you this very important question, because we've heard it all out there. Was it a bro show?
Was it a bro show? No, I know that. I remember someone saying that, because obviously there were a lot of men there, and it can be intimidating as a short female and young person in the field. But I mean, what you find most of these people, they actually care. Like, they look out for you, and everyone was very welcoming in conversation. It didn't feel, I guess, like a frat house, if that's what people mean, or just a bunch of guys getting together. There's many people that, you were just treated like a person. And I think that's the most important thing. Just treated like a person and having a conversation. It wasn't really like,
because of this guy right here.
Well, that's a good point, Jeff. I think this is something new. Anytime something new or innovative in the industry comes together, there's going to be resistance or default assumptions that it just takes momentum. So each summit, positive stories come. The most complainers come from folks that don't ever attend. I've noticed, right? You know what I mean? The backseat quarterback. So the best way to take a gander is kick the tires yourself and check it out, I would say. But I feel like year over year, there's different outcomes of momentum. Very important not to have more vendors and carriers, more carriers and brokers, more brokers and carriers. It's a fine balance, obviously, right?
No, it's even though
the mission repeats, no doubt. But the mission repeats the same with the main objective, right? And that's the bottom line. That's collaboration and synergy, right? And so,
well, it takes everyone. It takes brokers, it takes carriers, it takes tech partners, it takes factoring companies, it takes safety and compliance people, it takes insurance companies. Everybody needs to work together to make the logistics environment and ecosphere work. And so, it's the broker carrier summit, but a big piece of that is helping carriers and brokers both understand things like insurance, things like factoring, things like how to execute sound business planning. What role does technology play in your operation? And those answers are going to be different based on whether you're a broker or a carrier, or you're a 100-truck operation or a 3-truck operation, or if you have 5,000 brokers versus 4 brokers. But those questions and the engagement and cross-pollination of people is extremely beneficial. One of the things that we're really excited about for Fort Worth and getting up to Fort Worth is the increased ability to network through the platform. We're in the process of beginning to revamp the website, and I'm super excited about that. And hopefully the idea is by the time Fort Worth rolls around, we'll have an entirely different website. We'll have a members only section to our website. So if you've been to a summit or you subscribe to our network, you're going to be able to have access to things like content that we're going to be creating, all the content from previous summits, access to our other members, so you can interact with them throughout the year. So you can take those relationships that you make at the summit, build on them. But the next summit and the 3 summits after that you attend, you're not meeting new people as much as you're just re-engaging with old partners or new partners.
Correct.
And so we're really trying to create that ecosystem where everybody, rising tide lifts all boats, right? So everybody's able to win.
True.
I've just got a members only jacket, so.
Man, that's old.
I do have one legitimate concern on this, and if Trey continues to host this and this thing gets bigger year over year, he's going to run out of jerseys eventually, right? He only has so many total. He doesn't have 5 years worth of broker carrier summits.
Yeah,
he'll get one for each city he's in, maybe.
Well, he's a bandwagon guy. You know he's going to have the Dallas Mavericks jersey there, right? Yeah, of course.
Did anyone happen to see his whole bellhop cart that was in the backstage with all his outfit changes?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, come on, really? Are you serious?
That was great. It was great. He's committed. Great.
Trey had what, like 20 different outfits for 2 days on the stage. It was pretty crazy.
Coleman, I'm sad, Coleman. You never used the 30-second dance party, man. That would have been.
I know. I'm sorry. I dropped the ball on that one.
You only used it as a threat. I mean, now the 30-second dance party is a bad thing. I'm kidding.
Dan, very impressive. Great idea. Good momentum. You're all in on it, which is total focus.
Yep.
I think the industry is intrigued for sure. It's gonna go to the moon, man. Good luck.
Yeah, you got a lot of interest from a lot of people. You're gonna see more. So
Jennifer, you had an awesome one, right? You had an awesome event.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still recovering from it, but yes, it was.
Liver or mentally?
What?
Liver?
No, my liver's fine. I mean, I paced myself well throughout the conference, and then everyone wanted me to go out on Tuesday, and I was like, no, I'm going to bed. Yeah, those are our stickers.
That was a good call.
Yeah. But yeah, we had TMSA Elevate was in New Orleans this year, and we had. Oh, look at you still wearing your shirt. I wore that on the.
He hasn't taken it off. He hasn't taken it off yet.
Yeah, he's just still. He probably has just like a Rolodex.
This is actually, believe it or not, today's the first time I've worn it since I got home.
That's funny. But yeah, it was good. It was a lot. Like he just showed, it's our 100-year anniversary, so there was a lot of extra elements to this year to celebrate. I have 3 children that are playing upstairs. So if you hear them, they're just feral at this point. We went to see Inside Out too, so it's a lot of feelings talk today as well.
You know you love anxiety.
Jen, I got a question for you, Jen. From you putting this all together, what was the biggest takeaway from your point of view from the Elevate show?
People in this industry love the community that exists within it, which is, I mean, seems to be what you guys all said with the Broker Carrier Summit stuff too. And that was something that we really wanted to highlight too. Like we did have some people take the stage that just talked about their experience with TMSA. Most of the new people enjoyed that. There was 1 or 2 that was like, don't tell us about TMSA, show us why you're great. And I was like, okay, that's fair feedback. But like, also we are celebrating 100 years. So like, we want to be able to tell the story a little bit. But that was a really big piece of it is the networking and the education and just learning together. This is not the easiest year in this industry, and being able to come together and acknowledge that and see how we can all move forward together is really impactful. And then my personal favorite was we did have a wellness room this year, which was the first time we've tried anything like this. Some things were like some of the feedback was like, oh, I wish it had darker lighting and like music. I'm like, that was part of the original concept, but I never got my dimmer switch from the hotel. So, there's only so much that you can do at some of that stuff. But it was a space where people could go, and we had like fidget spinners and stress balls and coloring pages and Play-Doh, which some people don't need that. And that's great. I applaud any person who doesn't get overwhelmed at a conference, but I am not one of those people. So I did go in that room quite a few times, and there's like cucumber water in there, and just, it was a place. They're screaming for me, and I'm just ignoring them. I need the wellness room.
Mom, take us to Inside Out 3 now.
Yeah. All of the Play-Doh came home with me, like the Play-Doh and the fidget spinners and the stress balls, and like the kids kept trying to take them. I'm like, you can have one each, but like the stress balls we will continue to use. They're TMSA branded, thank you. But I really liked that, and that was really cool, and we got really great feedback. There was people that were like, I don't understand the point of this room. Well, thank you for sharing that. Like, I seriously applaud anyone who doesn't get overwhelmed, but for those of us who do, it was a bit of a like, you could just kind of sit in there, and that was really nice.
To go back to the beginning of the show's conversation, the food was amazing at TMSA.
What was the best thing, Rob? What was best?
Maybe the shrimp. Some of the shrimp was delicious.
The shrimp,
shrimp and grits.
Oh man, whatever the bisque was.
Either that
chef, one bisque.
Oh yeah, the chef either loved me or hated me, because I care a lot about the food, both just from the taste and also the accommodations for people. Yeah. Like, we have quite a bit of like vegans and gluten-free people, so like we really said in that.
Jennifer, we actually followed up with the chefs. They hated you.
I'm sure. Yeah, and I was like, for the wellness room, can we please put some cucumber water in there? And he's like, yes, ma'am. I'm like,
I only want green M&Ms. If I see a red M&M, I'm throwing the bowl.
But I said, we asked people ahead of conference if they have food allergies or things, and we had a ton of people
That's a very good
that
point.
were like vegan, vegetarian, fish, like pescatarian. I felt bad for the vegans who was like, this means I don't eat dairy, fish, and I was like, I feel bad for you that you feel like you need to spell this out for me, because people are like, oh, there's cheese only, and so
that's the whole dietary deal of a conference. I didn't even think how complicated that probably gets.
That's very complicated.
It does. But what I will tell you, the secret to success is a taco bar, because everyone can find something at a taco bar.
Sure.
I do it for opening cocktail every year now, because it does not matter what you are. There is something for everybody, and you can pick what you're doing. So like, it's not like you have like they're giving you the taco. You make your own stuff, and so I have found that to be very easy to accommodate a lot of people.
As long as no one from St. Louis caters it, I think it's good. Right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the food was. Sorry, coming from a person with food restrictions, I did not follow the food restrictions because they just.
I was gonna say, you kept saying you were gluten free, and then we're just like pounding gluten.
I wouldn't. Burrito with the sausages and the what is it, the tortillas in there. But I think one of the most important things to highlight as well are the memories that were created, especially embarrassing stories. So I'll go first. Here's
Bennett's corporate website, originally launched in 2013, was significantly updated to better represent the company's growth in, I don't know that word, dynamicism. Holy smokes. The outdated, non-responsive WordPress theme was transformed into a modern, video-centric, I'm keeping it honest.
When he said, holy,
nice, Coleman, nice.
was so happy that smokes is what came after. Like my entire body went rigid for like.
Have you guys seen the clip of graduation when the lady is just butchering the names like almost above and beyond? Like
really?
It's almost like that can't be real.
So
that's not how you say Sarah. That's not how you say Bob.
Is when I told Courtney, our recognition chair, that Coleman was going to MC. That's the video she sent me. And she was like, we just have to make sure he's not this lady.
If it was Bob, she'd be like, be Bob.
Which is not. When you said, I don't know how to pronounce this word, holy. And I was like, my whole body got so tight. And he said smokes. And then it was like my whole body released. It was like the craziest moment of my life.
I don't know why I did that. I told them, picture everybody in their underwear, man. You'll be okay.
No. The worst part about this is that in that video, I still said it wrong. I just panicked and I just said the wrong word. The actual word was dynamism. Dynamism.
Well, see, you can say it.
It'll never.
I also feel like if you would have just said it and wrong, like no one, half the room would have even.
Nobody would have. A pro would have sneezed or coughed at the end of that word and moved on to the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
In my head, I got to it. I'm like, they misspelled dynamic, and I'm like, there's no way they misspelled it this wrong. So that was
important to help our friends, and in honor of this embarrassing moment, but we learned to laugh and embrace it. I've catered a game, which we'll move on to now. There's no
all right, see ya.
Yeah, with Natty.
This was Chatties with Natty, and now we're moving on to the real what's the word. Really just incoherent. Can we get the first banner up here, and I will explain how this goes. We are going to read this phrase aloud, and we have to guess what the actual word is or phrase. It can be a word, it can be a phrase. So,
Despacito.
yes.
Oh,
who said that?
How did you come up with that,
Dan
dude?
did.
Phonics didn't work for me either. I just kind of fumble around and say things.
All right, let's roll on to the next one. What do we got here? You got to say it out loud too. You can't mumble it to yourself.
Let's got this word.
Let's got this spread. Let's got a spread.
It's let's got this something.
I thought it was just one word.
Let's get this bird.
No.
Let's got this bread.
Those birds
is it one word or is it a phrase?
Oh,
let's get this bread. Okay, it's a phrase.
All right, we kind of threw you off with the Despacito, but all right.
I think leave this on.
They ain't us.
I think that was a trick. That one's already solved.
Yeah, they hate us because they ain't us.
That's terrible.
I know people will
Elon
get
Musk.
this.
Elon Musk.
Elon
there
Musk.
we go.
There you go. Coleman got that one.
Easy
All right,
now.
next up. Who wants to do
Carol
this one?
Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah. You guys are killing it today. Maybe she was the problem the whole time. You got
Baby
this.
girl. Baby girl.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Good job,
Say it out, it helps.
Well, that's how Coleman would pronounce it for sure.
Next up, who
I'm
wants
so
to say it
fucked
out
for
loud?
I need a nap.
I need a nap. Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
dang.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dan with his naps.
Who's up? Who's up? Did you read this one out?
Some and itcher.
I can't read it out loud. You know what it is.
Can I
be to someone?
Can I speak to someone?
Really close. Really close. Someone
Can I speak to someone richer? No.
Richard, you're too poor for me, sir. Please move away.
What is your itcher?
You are too poor for this conversation.
Yep. Can I speak to the manager?
The manager, gotcha.
Can I speak with someone with a little more wealth in their net savings, please?
Power. Who wants to read it out loud?
First world problems.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
The key here, people, is you got to say it with your chest. You got to say it confidently. Read it out loud. There's no embarrassment here. This is a safe space.
Hell no.
Sup?
What?
Okay,
Killed it. Love it.
Get out of here, bus.
crushed it. Right.
Everybody that's watching this and tuning in, if you stayed the last 5 minutes, you're a trooper.
Yeah, you
Super.
Come on.
Super right.
Soups correctum. Subs correctum. I can't even say it like.
Subscribe.
I can't even read it.
Yeah, it's M. Night Shyamalan. That's all it is. It's
It's actually subscribe to my channel. Speaking of, you're not following Beta Consulting Group or you're not following the Beta Podcast
Hey,
Network.
look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Look at that. Wow.
You just got a raise from Trey, man.
That was amazing.
Did that right in there.
Coleman, you are definitely the third.
Oh,
Yeah, you were definitely the third.
I'm never hosting again.
Final
out of here.
It'd be really difficult.
Coleman, say that. Go on.
Never again.
Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry that we didn't get to this week in pictures. We are up for time, but we will get to those next week, and I'll include your photos, Rob, as well. But thank you guys.
Great job, Natalia.
One of the best shows, Natalia.
Great hosting.
Wonderful.
Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and thank you to anyone who actually stuck around for this entire episode. Hopefully, you come back,
including us.